Hey, it's Amanda, and you are watching a segment from 100 videos in 100 days. This started out as a challenge to myself to prove that freedom can come from authenticity and vulnerability, and that life doesn't have to be perfect or look perfect, it doesn't have to feel perfect to be valuable, to really be valuable. And that you don't have to wait to share your gifts till it all looks a certain way. And this is also about what the cost is of waiting to share your gifts. I didn't have a YouTube channel before this. I never did a video of myself. I didn't even like to see myself in camera. So am I scared every time I do this? Yes. But I'm here. I'm showing up because I'm committed to this conversation about freedom. And the freer I get, I believe the freer you will get. So I invite you to participate as you can. There's no editing here. I get one take. So if it all goes to hell, you go with me. There may be swearing, there may be crying. I may get up and walk around. It's the game. It's authentic and vulnerable. I will look different every day. So that's really the point of it, is in life there's no editing, there's no redos. So who are you going to be? How are you going to show up? What would that look like? And what would be possible if you just showed up exactly as you were and let the cards fall? Would that be freeing? It is to me. And if it is to you, I hope you get something out of these. If there's anything that I say that rubs you wrong or feels off, discard it immediately. It's not for you. It's for whoever needs it, and most likely for me. So when this turns off and the next one turns on, I will be sitting here quietly with my eyes closed. You're not walking into any special session that you're not supposed to see. Everything's transparent here. So I started this to have context in the beginning because I can see people are jumping in the middle of the series, and I just want to make sure everyone feels included. So I will see you soon. Scoot back, because I have to watch myself up close. It can only take so much. So this is an interesting one, and in full disclosure, this is a retake. Because the last one, I was just talking and talking and talking, and then it just shut off. And as I was finishing it, as I was still talking, I was hearing this is like an entire chapter of a book, of my book. And it was actually a section I don't even think I thought to include, which is funny because it has represented a huge portion of my life. So I had all these stories and examples I was sharing, and maybe it's best that it just be written out in the book because it is longer. I don't know, but I've had a heck of a time getting this thing going today. The battery died and then it stopped, and so I'm just going to step back and reshare whatever comes up, whatever limited amount that might be. Just not quitting. Number 25 today. Although what I shared about is still coming through, I guess I'll share in a more limited way, I guess. What I was talking about was chronic illness, chronic pain. I posted on my Facebook about a trailer from a movie that came out. It screened in New York, I think, 2 days ago. It's called All the Rage, and it's about Dr. John Sarno, S-A-R-N-O. He has a book out. It's been out forever, but not surprisingly, people don't pay attention to it, and doctors sure as hell don't want anything to do with it. But it's called something like the Mind-Body Prescription. The Mind and Body Prescription. Diagnosis, something like that. But that you know his name now. I've not read the book, but from my own experiences, I want to read it now, but from my own experiences, I already know that he probably hit it all on the head. I mean, I don't doubt at all that it's completely accurate. Why? Because we don't feel our feelings. We don't even want to think our thoughts. And yet we have a body that is completely connected to the mind. They work together. But if we don't let the whole system run, it will get sick. If you told your computer, most of you can run, but not this part. That one makes me feel weird. I don't really know how to run it. People say you don't need it. So just remove that chip. The computer won't run. It'll get viruses. I know a lot about chronic illness and chronic pain. I'm a champion of chronic pain. Thank you. Thank you. And yet, it's probably what has held me back from sharing almost all my life. Certainly the last 10 years. Illness was familiar to me at an early age. It was my coping mechanism for being painfully shy. I would cry if a teacher would call me for an answer, and I was smart as a whip, and I didn't want to say the answer. I didn't want to be embarrassed. I didn't want to get it wrong. My whole, if I'm not perfect up front, I'm not saying anything. Started very young. So you don't think about what you're creating when you're a kid, but that's how I coped. That's how I was able to do things that I loved. I was sick. I would stay home and sew or draw or read, study things that I loved that made me feel happy, because I didn't feel happy in the home I was in. I was scared all the time, stressed all the time. So that was years of that. And then when you go back to school, you get teased for being sick. God, you're so sick all the time. Why are you so sick? Why are you being out so much? And so the cycle just got worse and worse. So my shyness got worse. And then not only that, I was a freak because I was sick all the time. And yet I knew I wasn't really sick. So that made me feel guilty and stupid. And that I couldn't participate the way everyone else did because they'd been showing up. So I felt left out and left behind. So all the things I was scared of, I was trying to deal with by being sick, and then it just made everything worse. And then fast forward through my life, and you name it, and I've had some version of it, probably. So yeah, I could go into, you cannot believe the examples and the stories I could tell you about years of it, and then it being gone in a day. No matter how many doctors I went to, no matter what they prescribed me, no matter what diets I did. And I mean, I will put myself through the ringer because I don't want the pain, or that's what I think. But I never thought to go in and, no, that's not true. I did think to go in and look at my emotions, and I did do a lot of that work, and it did help. Where I would get stopped is, we were raised that if you think a certain way, you'll get sick. But it felt more like blame. Like, why are you causing yourself to be sick? Or like it was a thing that you were doing on purpose. If you're sick because of something that's emotionally or psychologically happening, it is an unconscious thing. There's no guilty party. There's just something that's invisible that if you make visible, you can actually deal with it. So I have pretty extraordinary examples of that. Why? Because I've put in the work, and I've been open-minded because the medical route wasn't working. I, in fact, know it doesn't work. It's not even designed to work. It's designed to make you sicker or keep you sick, and then you keep paying for it. People can say that's bullshit, and I can show them every argument why it's not. And you don't want to mess with me on this stuff. I've gone up against the government countless times. I don't give a crap. If people are being screwed over and hurt, I'm the wrong person to challenge on it, because I will go down there. And that's how I feel about all this. Now, that being said, what will empower me and any of you that deal with chronic illness and pain? Yes, you feel the pain. I know. I did 10 years of it. But when there was a reason for it to crack open where I could actually feel what the pain was in my mind or my heart or from my past or whatever, and that cleared out, a lot of it was fear. In general, it's anger. People are like, well, I'm not an angry person. You probably are. People wouldn't think I am, because I'm jolly. Someone said dating me is like dating Buddy the Elf. Except if he gets pissed. I have that too. So one time when I worked with this lady and she said, you've got to get angry, like all the different parts of my emotions could come through, and she's like, but you won't get angry. So she made me do these things where I was feeling my anger, and then she's like, no, there was no screaming, there was no yelling, there was no being pissed. And it was weird because in our culture, everyone lashes out because they actually are shoving down feeling angry because it's not appropriate. You smile and be nice, or you shut up. Or you just get passive aggressive and then go, well, I'm just passive aggressive. So I had not known how to just say I'm angry and feel angry and either not break a window, punch someone, or just shut it all down. I didn't have we're not taught how to be angry. We're not taught how to feel anger. It serves a purpose. Oh, this is like 5 chapters, I can tell. I think will make a huge difference. I don't know, part of me is just like, I could work with people on getting them through their chronic illness and show them how. We'll see. Because it's really important to me, because that's the shame I have felt. And what prevents people from being vulnerable is a certain shame you feel, where you don't feel you're worthy of love. And as long as I was sick, I didn't feel worthy of love. People go, well, it's not your fault, you're sick. But there was something inside of me, and even it got twisted around, like as blame, and that's not the point. But it was that I had experienced enough of when I was in a ton of pain, or I had my back issues, or fibromyalgia, or toothaches, or, oh gosh, you name it, I've had it. That it wasn't there when I was present and I was connected. And there was also times when I felt it was going to come, and I sat and let myself watch to see if it would come, versus living into the fear of it's here, because you're already in pain if you're waiting for it. If you start to feel that tingle or that little sensation and you're just like, oh God, it's here, shit, everyone, it's coming, like a baby, you're already there. And nothing may be happening, but that's your experience. There's a lot to this. Oh, and there's so many reasons why we do it to ourselves. So I guess what I would ask you to consider is that there's something outside the medical world. If the medical, yes, it's having breakthroughs and scientific things, and it can help certain structural things, and a broken arm or pneumonia, fine. But a chronic illness and chronic pain, they are not healing that up. So where does that lie? Well, with us. And in one way that's super scary, and the other way it's totally empowering, because I don't have to go to the guy to get the stuff. I hated that. So there's no blame in it, but what there is an opportunity to, especially if you're stopped by the illness, is to let your body rest. Right? Not like, well, I know I have to rest. Like, I'm sick. Well, I know. And you are in the moment you are. And then those moments that you're not, maybe look, or even when you're in a lot of pain, ask your body what it wants to tell you. You know, I have diverticulitis, or it's something I experience now and then. And it's getting better night and day because I did the inquiry on it. And I shared all that in the video earlier, but I think it's just going to have to be all written out. And I went from, I want diverticulitis to fucking go away. That was my thought, and it wouldn't leave, and I was in hell. And I worked through a process, and by the end, I could see where I didn't want it to go away. And that can sound like bullshit and wasn't real, but I was sobbing because it was very clear there were some benefits to me. And if that sounds irritating or frustrating right now, I get that. I understand. I understand. But consider it an opportunity to feel the things that you were never allowed to feel, whether you didn't feel like you could do it or you just didn't even notice it. You know, I fell a couple months ago and I've had this bad thing between my back. It's been bugging me every day. It started making me feel scared again, like, oh no, it's my back again. Maybe it's another disc. And then today, because I saw that trailer, it made me think of it. And I sat there and I started thinking, what was it that I didn't feel in the moment when I fell? And immediately I went right there and all I did was slip in a puddle at the park in front of my siblings and my kids. And I remember my mind going, oh no, you fell again. Oh no, you're gonna get hurt again. You'll be down again. You'll be sick again. They can all see that. Oh look, you tripped, you're a klutz. You're not acting the way you're supposed to act. You're not showing up the way, it went on, right? So I felt all that, I heard all that, and then I was just like, oh, I'm fine, you know me, I'm just a dork. Covering it up. So today I let that pain in my back, felt that, and I just said, you know, was that the conversation when I fell? Was that what that was like? And I could hear it all, and so I went, gosh, I didn't even let myself cry about those feelings. I don't care how stupid this feels, okay? Sat in my room and cried. I don't want to feel like a dorky misfit that looks awkward and falls all the time and gets hurt and fragile and can't play. Scares her kids when she falls because, oh no, mom will be down. And I cried. I've had no pain in my back today. I've had it since Easter. Fluke, maybe, I'll report back. So just consider, because we have limited time and this thing might click off, that your body wants to tell you something. And that it's giving you a timeout because you won't listen. I've had tons of timeouts because I'm a stubborn mother. And I've had to go to deep, dark places to get there. But when it clicked why my back was the way it was and why I had fibromyalgia, it was gone in a day. And I'd had it for years. I was on tons of Vicodin, muscle relaxers, you name it, I was taking it. And when I say a day, like I threw the pills out the window with my daughters. And they were freaking out and I was like, it's done. I just need to show myself it's done, but it's done. And then my mind had to trust that. So I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, I'm trusting here. And then that's been gone. So I had something else come up because I hadn't realized how I was doing this to myself. And now I'm realizing that and I'm able to heal things up. Things that they're saying that can't be healed are being healed up. So that film reminded me of that. So in the meantime, if you want to wait till the book comes out and read it there, great. I can't promise that I could answer a bunch of questions people email me because I am barely keeping up. And I'd like to respond personally. So maybe get this guy's book and look up the film and find it live streaming or something like that. If you have adrenal fatigue, if you have allergies, if you have whatever, just look at it. What's there to hurt? I mean, if you sit and listen to me, I'm kooky, right? And I know this is all uncomfortable stuff to say because people are like, that's not even science. That's not even real. Well, where's science getting us? Okay, I'm glad that you can replace a tendon that's whatever in my leg, but could you just live a healthy life? No, they can't. That's our job. So that's going to turn off, and I think that's all I'm supposed to say. So just please be open. Love yourself enough to be open, and this will probably be a bigger dialogue. I love you guys.